Hey, Holly here, and today I am going to show you how to color the skin of your black characters, black or African characters, whichever. I'm going to teach you how to make juicy ass skin tones like these. And of course, we're not only doing light skin, I'm also going to show you how to make juicier skin tones like this. And if you want your characters even darker, or you just want a variety, I'm going to teach you how to paint juicier skin tones like this. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pick out three colors. So you're gonna have a base color, then you're going to have a darker. This is how I pick out the colors exactly. I pick out whatever it is I want my base colors to be. I just like scroll around and try to find it, or I use references like images of really beautiful dark skinned people, and I just like pick out the tones, the ones I like. Or I just come here most of the time. I think that's because I kind of have an idea of what I want, and I just pick out whatever base I want. So for here, we're going to use this as a base. So what you do is you pick out your base, then you just pick out another color that is darker and a little bit more saturated. So you like this is your base right here, then you just like go down a little bit and just pick a color there, like a little bit and to the right. So something darker and something more saturated. Sometimes before I go darker, I can increase like the redness. Then I go a bit darker. It just depends on what you want. But basically, pick out a base, pick out a color that's a little bit darker, a little bit more saturated. Then the third color is something. You go back to the base again. Then you pick out something lighter and less saturated. Basically, something. This is your base color. When you want to pick out something brighter, you go towards this side instead of going towards this side. I'm just explaining it for people that are kind of new and don't really understand. But anyway, you just have your three colors now. These are the three colors you're going to use for your character's skin. Sometimes you can have a fourth color, and that color would be used for like the very reddish parts of your character. But that's why for me, I just make sure that my darker color is a bit reddish, and I use that instead. I'll show you how I do it. Also, I pick out colors for the lips. Now, when it comes to drawing, coloring black characters, the lips are very important. They're very important. They can make or break your characters. If you color it wrong, your characters are gonna look terrible, maybe even look racist, like depending on how bad you know, mess it up. But basically, you have to make sure that you're picking the right colors for the lips of your characters. You can pick out three colors like this, or you can pick out two colors. What I do for the lips is I pick out a really dark color that complements the skin tone. Always pick out your lip color when you're picking out your skin tone, so you're sure that it complements it. So I pick out a really dark color that complements skin tone. I pick out something a little brighter that also complements the skin tone, and then I pick out something a little bit more pale and kind of reddish, depending on how you want your character's lips to look. If you want your character, maybe your character is wearing like a purple lipstick or something, then you go for something a little bit more purplish. For black characters, there are specific colors that look really good on them. But as always, you can pick out whatever color you want, as long as it works. You're creative, be creative. But if you just want to like have an idea of where to start from, there's some specific colors that look really good. Purple looks great on black skin. Dark red like burgundy, just basic tones. A really bright red with like no liner or nothing does not look great. What else? Like green, don't use green, don't use blue unless it's connects to your character, kind of. Let's say your character is this crazy type of character that wears a blue lipstick that would wear something like that, then by all means go ahead. But if you're doing just like a really normal character, then you want to stick to stuff that are reddish, beautiful dark orange, purple. Even pink is fine if it's like a dark pink, or if you just know how to use it well. So anyway, I'll show you how to use it. Let's fill in our base color for our character. So this is the base color we've chosen. It's a beautiful like dark, palish like orange and stuff. This character is light skinned, obviously. And the reason you might say if she's light skinned, why is the color base color I chose so dark, is because after you like add other stuff, skin shading and the rest, and then after you add lighting, your character is going to look fairer than whatever it is you originally picked. Unless you're the kind of person that doesn't draw light, instead you draw the character as they would look under the light, and then you draw other stuff. Unless you're that kind of person, it's best you choose a color that is a little bit. So my character might be really fair, but I'm going to choose something that is a little bit dark, because I know by the time I'm done and I add lighting and everything, she's gonna look lighter. You understand? Okay. Now moving on, we're gonna add a new layer, and this is where we're gonna do the shading, and I'm going to show you how I shade. Let's turn off the lips color for now. Okay, so what I do is I just grab the darker color and I use an airbrush, something simple that everybody has. And what you do is you just use the color, the parts of the person's face, use it to define the face, parts that you think would look darker. So like here in the eye, the face is 3D, it's three-dimensional. So you know here in the eye of a human being kind of goes in, so that place. So it's like a little bit darker. Sides of the nose, you can use this to like define the nose and really shape it, bring it out. Under the eye, unless your character is the kind of person that would have really bright under eye, then you can use this color instead, right? Okay. So then what I do is I do this all around the sides of the face to like kind of contour it and just, you know, make it pop, bring it out. So wherever the hair touches, I also do this there, and I find that it just makes it look a little bit better. Okay, then you go down to the neck, sides of the neck, down. Okay, you can use this to contour. If your art is something that is a little bit more detailed or stuff like that, you know, feel free, use it at the places you know it would be. When we get to the hands, we see that here for black people or African people are always like a little bit darker, a little bit more reddish. So we're just gonna put that there. Gonna put that there. Just gonna use this to make my brush bigger, not that big. And then we're just gonna use this to like contour the arms. Just a little bit. See, I'm not doing much, just light brush strokes, okay? Very light. Top of the lip, what I do, and at the bottom of the lip. Beautiful. Now when we turn this off, you can see the big difference that has made. That already has brought out her features very well. That's so much better. So what I'm going to do now is I already filled in the clothes and her hair, so I'm just going to turn those on so you can like have a look at her properly. Good. So we turn this off, turn this on. You see the difference that makes? Awesome. Let's keep going. So the next is we're going to work on the lips to show you how important the color of the lips is. Now these are the colors we chose for the lips, right? And how did I get these colors? For someone that if you're a beginner and you don't really know how to get the colors, use references. You go on Pinterest, you search for dark skinned people, you look at their lips. A lot of people have two-toned lips. Some people their lips is a lot darker than their skin, while some people their lips is not that much darker than the skin. Some people their top lip is darker, some people their, but you know, it doesn't matter. Just get a lot of references and just like color pick it, and like then you can do stuff to the color. You can make it a little bit brighter, a little bit more saturated, a little bit darker, a little bit less saturated, whatever you want. You know, have fun with it. Art is fun. It's fun. Yay, we're having fun. My god, got bills to pay. Anyway, okay, let's go for the lip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her like a two-tone lip. I want her upper lip to be darker, so I'm going to use this. It's kind of like a dark burgundy color. I don't know if it's as dark as burgundy, but you know. So what we're just going to do is I'm going to just paint that in. Let's zoom in here. Don't mind the draw. I don't want to explain why she's cleaning off drawer. I'd rather not. She just woke up, I guess. That's the only explanation I have, and I'm gonna keep it there. So let's just color in her lips. So we have this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous color for her top lip. What we're gonna do is just gonna use the blending tool, and we're gonna blend out the edge Blend it out, beautiful. And then we're gonna clean it up. Clean it up, gorgeous. Okay, so now I'm gonna use the same color first, okay? I'm gonna use the same color and I'm just gonna place it with still the airbrush tool. I'm gonna place it just like this, line to line her lips. Remember that for darker skin tone, if you want it to look really good, then lining the lip is like mwah, one of the best things you can do. I'm gonna add it in some of the lines. Beautiful, beautiful. Then I'm gonna take this color. I'm gonna use that. Just add it and use it to blend it in. Okay, and then I'm gonna take the lightest juicy color and we're gonna put that just in between here, just lightly. Make sure you're placing it lightly. You kind of want it to like blend with her skin tone. Okay, so you place it lightly, just like that, and it comes out absolutely gorgeous. There we go. So when we take off the lips, it's big difference. Okay, you just have to be careful with the way you apply it and the way you use it, and trust me, you'll be fine. I want to use a bit more of this down here with this one, and then I'm just gonna use the blending tool and blend it in just a little bit. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, awesome. So basically this is how our character looks now. If you take everything off, this is how she looks, and you take it, put it on. Yep, so it makes such a big difference than just having a flat character and then just rendering and stuff like that. But if you color the skin well, it just gives it a little you know. Yeah, anyway, so our character looks good, and when you turn on everything else, voila, your character looks delicious. I don't remember if I mentioned before, but one of the reasons I give my character a little bit darker skin tone, yeah, I think I mentioned this before, is because when you add the light, as you can see here, so for this art I added sunlight at the end, and bam, my character looks lighter than before. So if I had made my character this light already, when I add the sunlight, it would have made my character even lighter, and that wouldn't have been what I wanted. So I made sure to make my character a little bit darker so that when I add the sunlight, she still looks good, just the way I want. Okay, let's go to the next part and I'll show you how to do this on a different skin tone. Okay, so here's a bit darker skin tone for the same character, and we're going to do the exact same thing. This is the base, right? So I'm just going to click on the base that we've chosen, and then I'm going to go a little bit darker and more saturated, just a tiny bit, and I'm going to use that with the airbrush tool, and I'm just going to use that to do the same thing I did before. Give her face a bit of form just all around here. Okay, and once we're happy with that, we are gonna choose the color again, choose a lighter, less saturated version of it. We're just gonna use that in places like the palm, a little bit under the eye, okay, places that we just want, a little bit on the nose. Going back to this dark color and using a little bit on the lips. Okay, beautiful. We turn that off and we turn it on. Awesome. So I'm gonna fill in everything else so you sort of see how it looks. Now for this one, I already filled in the lips. I did different variations. I want to show you 3 different variations. So I already did the lips for those 3 variations, and this is the first one. You can see here what I mentioned about the kind of like purplish color for the lip. Look how beautiful it looks. The hair, Everything's banging. I like to kind of make my hair the same color as the eyebrows, or the eyebrows a little bit darker than the hair, or sometimes lighter. It just depends. It's fun. So here I use the same color for the hair as the eyebrows here. You can see that just flows perfectly. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And here is another option. You see, I didn't need to, because the shading is done so well for the skin, I didn't need to change it to use a totally different color palette for her lip and hair. Her hair here is more blue. This is the former one. This is another one. And if you say, okay, that works, but that's not gonna work with like a crazy color hair or anything like this, you can make her hair white. It still works. Still works. It's still fine. You get okay. So when you do that and you add it, let's add everything else. Let's add the hair shadow, the face shadow, you know, highlights, sunlight, everything. Let's just add the whole thing. And this is what it looks like. This is what you get at the end. That is just a beautiful, luscious skin. If we turn off this one and we use this one instead, still looks good. Turn off this one, use this one instead, still looks good. So as long as your base is done really well, everything else would just work well. Okay, so for this is a really dark skin tone we've gone with this time, right? And but the same thing still applies. This is our base, and all you have to do is choose a color that's a little bit more saturated and darker, and use that to like make the forms of the face, but in the places that would be a bit dark, have more color, and then you can do the same thing, pick a lighter color, and use that for anywhere you want, right? Okay, so I've already done that for this, and let me show you how it can look if you do like really bad face shading. If you use something that you shouldn't use, something really light, this is the same one I used for the first example, and see how it looks on this one. It doesn't work, right? So it's not like you can just get one color that works. No, whatever it is your base is has to be really good, and then it's that you use to choose your other colors. So this doesn't work on this because it looks way brighter, even though there it was a darker color because of the base. Okay, so that would be a bad color. This would also be bad coloring. Please don't do this to your black characters. Don't do that. Don't. Yeah. So we're not gonna do that, obviously. And let's instead turn on good shading. This is what good shading would look like. Yeah, and this is what the color looks like if you take it out and you try to just like, let me show you over here. And you're like, oh my god, that is so dark. That would never work on skin. But it works on her skin. You get it? Like, it works. It's not too ashy. It's not too weird. And by the time we add everything else on top, it's gonna look good. Okay? So anyway, now, because we have such a good base, okay, by the time we can turn on the first color, this is just adding her lipstick, her lip color, and her hair. And I think the line on her face, yeah, okay. And there you have it. That works. Same thing I did here. The color of her hair, I used it for her eyebrows. Let's turn on a different color. Same base. It still works. Went with more of a pinkish tone for here. Still works. Let's choose another one. Still works. And let's do the same thing. Let's do the ridiculous, just white. Everybody likes a black character with white hair. Let's do that. It still works. I even gave her like pink eyeliner because she's fabulous. Yes. Anyway, okay, so it still works because the base was done well. So your base color is really important and your shading color is really important. If you use the wrong color for shading the face and like bringing out, sculpting it basically, your character will look ashy as heck or just look terrible or just look weird. So it's not about, you can say, oh, I can't paint dark skin or I can't color dark skin tones. You can. You just haven't learned a good way to do it. And even based on this is just me giving you like the first part. You can decide to like, do more practice more, try different methods and just get your own look and what you like, what you think works. You know, there's a lot of references you can use and stuff like that, and it's gonna come out absolutely stunning. She's gonna look good. Here I even look used like a really dark color for her lip. It's fine. Find what works, you know? As long as your character is well drawn and your character looks lovely. This is a rough sketch, but still you can kind of get the idea of what I'm saying. Okay, so let's add everything else and just like make it like fully rendered. It still works. Let me show you. So we're just gonna turn everything else on. Let's zoom back and see how that looks. Great. And she's on a plain white background, which normally you wouldn't even put them on like a plain white background, but it still works. Let's change it up so you can see how it works with other colors. Yep. 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 We're good. So I love to draw black characters. It's really fun. I'm Nigerian. I love to draw Nigerian characters. They're so fun. I draw other different characters, but black characters are one of my best characters to draw. It's just so fun. There's so many variations. I love doing the afro, the twist, the whatever. It's just really fun. I have other characters, and basically this is the same method I use in drawing 80% of my characters. I don't say 100% because I try different things all the time. So, you know, I draw a lot of characters and I really like them, and I like how their skin always comes out and how it always ends up looking. So it's just really fun. Yeah, that is how you color black characters. If you have any questions or anything you didn't understand and would like me to explain a bit more, expand on more, you can let me know in the comments. If you like any part of this video so much so that you would like to let me know, you can let me know in the comments. And if you have any questions that is not directly related to this video but is related to arts, you can also leave that in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you will, and subscribe if you like me that much. Have a good day. Stay blessed.